I did carnivore for 1 month, and here's what I learned. I did some variation of the carnivore to start. Throughout the whole challenge period, I stuck to meat, eggs, nuts, so cashews and walnuts were my two nuts of choice, and avocados. My reason for this was my goal with carnivore wasn't to cure some incurable disease like some people try to do. My goal was ketosis, which comes from eating fats and proteins, zero carbs. And that was still achievable by eating nuts, the avocados. Eggs are a superfood. They raise your testosterone like crazy. So I ate as many eggs as I could, even though they're so expensive right now. That was what I chose to do. Now, my first week on carnivore was really rough. I would eat food, eat the meat, the eggs, and I'd still feel hungry all the time. I call this the sugar depression. When I wasn't eating sugar, I would physically just feel depressed, craving sugar. That was all of week 1. Week 2 was pretty similar, but I had finally started to get energy again. I was able to work out for 3 hours and be fine. But as a result of those workouts, because I didn't have carbs for a quick energy, I was tapping into my energy reserves. Now, as a result, I found that I was sleeping for an extra 2-3 hours every day. I found that I'd sleep 12-hour nights, and I'd wake up refreshed, I'd wake up energized, but that's lost time. Now, some benefits of the whole carnivore journey. Week 3 and 4, it got a little better. I'd wake up full. I'd feel pretty great. Felt like I was on top of the world. Some benefits, I felt more manly eating meat and eggs. I have no way of testing this, but I definitely felt like my testosterone was higher. I found that I'd wake up every day ready to tackle the day. So I'd get my good habits in every single day. I didn't miss a cold shower on this entire journey, which is fantastic. It's great progress for me. It was a great opportunity for me to level up, and that's exactly what happened. Some other benefits of carnivore. My skin is as clear as it can be with my current gut health. My teeth are very white because I'm not eating anything that's going to decay them. So those are some benefits: skin, teeth, energy. I'm pretty much always in a good mood, which is also great. I've noticed that some people say they don't get hangry, and some people say they aren't hungry between meals, but I'm kind of the opposite. Whenever I eat food, I stay hungry, but that hungry leads to better productivity throughout my day, that hunger. So I'm not too disappointed about that, although it does suck. I did this for brain function, and my brain function is incredible right now. I feel that I've tapped into my full potential of my brain. Whenever I took a nutrition class, my teacher told me don't do keto because it makes you stupid, or carbs feed your brain, and since you can't feed your brain, keto doesn't make your brain stronger. But all of the testimonies about keto, carnivore, everyone talks about how their brain health is so great and how they don't have brain fog. And I can personally attest to this. That's the truth. Maybe ketosis can make you dumber, but at the same time, if you're removing a veil of brain fog that you had before, you'll still be higher than your baseline. So that's definitely a plus. Now, let's talk about the cons. One problem that I had during this entire journey was the constant hunger. I noticed that even after I was done eating a 2,000 calorie meal, I would still feel some sort of hunger in my gut for something sweet. I just wanted something more, like a banana or a slice of bread. And that was my body craving sugar. I found that even after it's like I have to be in ketosis by now. And even after I'm in ketosis right now, even though I kind of feel full after I woke up, there's still a little will for me to eat in my gut, if that makes sense. So I want to eat all of the time. And there was actually a time when I overate because of how this urge to eat. I had eaten my ground beef and eggs. I call this carnivore porridge, where you just combine a pound of ground beef, a couple scrambled eggs in a pan, add a ton of salt, and that's a pretty good meal. That should sustain you until dinner time, but I had eaten it and it didn't sustain me. I'd stayed hungry and we had access to food, so I ate a cup of cashews and avocado, and suddenly I was nearing 2,500, 3,000 calories. I don't remember the exact number, but I was nearing a very high amount of calories in a short amount of time, and in turn, that had taken me out. I had spent the next 2 hours ready to vomit. I was in a state of being so full that I couldn't focus on the task at hand. I couldn't focus on working at all that day. So that's definitely a negative. If you can't control yourself overeating on carnivore, it definitely could be a big problem. For me, I have the excuse of saying, oh, I'm okay putting on some weight. I'm okay bulking. So I didn't restrict myself eating at all. I actually didn't want to lose weight. A lot of people go on carnivore to lose weight. If you can handle these cravings, 2 pounds of ground beef a day should be able to sustain you. It's 2,000 calories, so you'll almost definitely be in a calorie deficit. And you'll feel, protein satiates you, but that hunger feeling in your gut is from sugar addiction, for sure. So you'll be full. Don't get me wrong. The meat and fats filled me up pretty well, but this lack of sugar has been an extreme problem for me. Another problem with carnivore is the lack of electrolytes. Since you're not eating fruit, you're not getting the potassium portion of your electrolytes. You're not getting, I don't really know how the electrolyte balance works, but you're definitely missing potassium, for sure. So your body, you're going to slowly dehydrate yourself if you're not eating food. If you're not eating fruit, I'm sorry. Even if you're drinking a lot of water, you don't get all of the electrolyte balance in your blood. Now, this wasn't a problem for me. I buy electrolytes. I personally use electrolytes, so I would just do a scoop of those in the morning every now and then, and I didn't struggle with electrolytes, but many people do, and that's a downside to the carnivore diet. Since it's so restrictive, that is one essential thing that you're missing out on. And if you eat the fruit, then you don't go into ketosis. So with carnivore, you kind of have to pick and choose one or the other. You can't really cheat it. If you think that carnivore is so expensive, maybe you're still in school and you subscribe to that mindset. If you're an adult, you're paying for groceries and you still think it's expensive, okay, fair enough. But 1 pound of ground beef, if you buy organic ground beef, it's $7 per pound. If you're eating 2 pounds of that, that's $14 a day. Now, chances are that's lower than you cost per day. If you ask your parents how much they're paying for groceries, it's definitely going to be a lot. So if cost is stopping you from carnivore, I would like to challenge you to try. Because so many people will just say, oh, meat's expensive. Because people tell them that meat's expensive. They don't even know. I'd recommend you to just try it out. If you go to Costco and you can afford to buy in bulk, you can get a chuck roll for $5 a pound. And a pound of meat is 1,000 calories. $5 for 1,000 calories is crazy. So for $14 a day, that's one meal at McDonald's. A lot of people have this misconception that carnivore is so expensive, but especially if you're doing it for weight loss, it doesn't have to be. Now let me talk about what carnivore does for weight loss. Because you're in ketosis, because you're burning the fat, there's stories of people losing over 100 pounds on carnivore in a year. This is a very powerful tool because you can eat and be full and still lose weight. So I would highly recommend this for weight loss, but for anybody else who is just doing it for brain function, it seems like there's a better option. And that's what I'm planning to post about. It seems as if the brain fog that comes from carbs, the acne that comes from eating sugar, if you struggle with that, it seems as if that can be solved by getting your gut to the max level. This comes from eating the beneficial bacteria and probiotics, drinking your kombuchas, making gut-friendly foods like sourdough and sauerkraut. It seems as if that can alleviate these symptoms. And if there's a way to eliminate the brain fog from eating carbs, the science shows that carbs make you work out better. So if you're an athlete, this might be something to consider. And me being an athlete, that's where I'm going moving forward. Carnivore was a great experience. It really opened my eyes onto what level my brain can really be at. But the downsides of always being hungry. I'm a foodie. I love making food. I love eating food. So this diet being so restrictive has been hard for me. And that's why after 4 weeks of carnivore, this is going to be my hiatus. My dad calls it a good gut reset because it's so friendly on the gut. There's not a lot of, you're not really introducing new bacteria, you're kind of just flushing yourself out. And I agree with that. I think carnivore was good for that. I think it was fantastic for that. I think if you're losing weight, absolutely try carnivore. If you just want to unlock your full brain potential, give it a shot. Give it 3 weeks. Because the first few weeks are awful. You fall into that food depression and you want to quit the whole time. But as soon as you hit that ketosis, as soon as you realize, oh, I actually have energy, it becomes worth it. So I recommend it's like a buzz cut. Maybe it's not for everyone, but everyone should try it. Whatever you do, the Bible says, treat your body like a temple. So make sure you're doing the best you can to ensure that your body stays strong. If not for you, do it for God. See you guys.